afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On the Clock with Personal Living Alert. I'm David. I am with Personal Living Alert, and today we're going to talk with Liz Barlowe from ALCA. ALCA is the Aging Life Care Association. Well, before we go too far, and in full disclosure, Personal Living Alert, we do provide medical alert systems, and we do a lot of work, a good amount of work, always more, with my friends over at ALCA. So I just want everybody to know that, but we're just going to talk to Liz, and we're not going to do anything else, and we're going to see how it goes. So,
Okay.
Liz, there you go. How are you doing today?
I'm great, David. How are you?
A little stressed, but not too bad, but that's another story for another time.
Story of our lives as parents, David.
Exactly. So, what's your background? How did you get involved in the senior market? Where did you come from?
Where did I come from? I came from sunny Florida. I was born and raised right here in St. Pete, Florida, and actually just knew at a young age. I connected with older adults, from my grandmother to people at church. I volunteered and helped quite a bit. So when I went off to college, I pursued social work at the time, and actually had to formulate my own road towards working with older adults, because at that time it wasn't really sort of the buzz thing to do. I also have a master's degree in gerontology, so have spent my career, which is, keep pushing that back, 30,
About 3 months.
30 plus years of of working with older adults, and I've done everything from home care to mental health. I've been an administrator of assisted living facilities, both a traditional one and a building that was specifically designed for folks with Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. And about 20 years ago, I landed in the aging life care industry and fell in love with care management. I joined the association 20 years ago, so have managed to really can't begin to tell you how much I love. I'm trying to think of the words. Is this what we do for people?
Yeah, it sounds like a passion. You know, you're unique, you're yourself, right? But you're like a lot of other people I've spoken to in the fact that people just don't stumble into working with seniors, right?
Right.
And you can touch this with the care managers that you know, but I mean, everybody I've talked to, there's always been a reason, whether it's been a close family friend or a member of their family, there's always a reason why somebody gets into what we do. And I think that's really cool. I don't know how many other industries are like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know either, really. And, it's funny because I think so many social concerns, it's almost like it peaks and flows on different things that people focus on. And I mean, obviously we've had the opioid issue recently as a health and social service kind of a thing. So aging, I think, has been that steady all along. But again, I just have always had the passion, have always built meaningful relationships with older adults. And so I had to find my way because there weren't a whole lot of avenues when I first got into social work.
So you are with the Aging Life Care Association. In fact, you're the president of the Aging Life. So I'm glad to you're social distancing from your vice president and all that kind of stuff. But what is the Aging Life Care Association?
Sure. The Aging Life Care Association is a national nonprofit organization with a membership of professional experts in the fields of aging and disability. ALCA, as we call it for short, provides excellence through a code of ethics and a standard of practice that we all have to adhere to. They provide educational opportunities, business development, and networking among a community of like-minded colleagues.
What I know ALCA as being nothing but amazing care managers, and I know that we're maybe going with a little different terminology on them, but for everybody, what does a care manager do? For
Sure.
everybody who doesn't know.
Sure. We help seniors and their families navigate the challenges of aging and make positive, informed decisions about their care of themselves or their loved ones. So we assess folks' needs. We help people remain independent by giving them resources and support. We're health advocates, resource experts, and I say resource meaning oftentimes local. I mean, that's the benefit of our membership is we know our communities inside and out, and we know what services are out there, what are, which are the better ones than others, and we can help clients and or families navigate those services.
Everybody who I've met in your association has also been a great communicator. And I think that's a necessity because the ones I talk to, think 70, maybe 80% of the people, of the kids, for the parents are out of town. So they've got to constantly be talking to them and communicating. And I think that communication is key, and they're all experts at that.
Yep, absolutely. And I think I think you're right. I mean, particularly in Florida, we're both in Florida. Many of our clients have retired to this area from up north, and their families, of course, still remain up north. So we are the boots on the ground, pseudo daughter, family member with, I'd like to believe, expertise to be able to assist your loved one when you're not available to do that. I would say, and I always say this when I communicate about my company in particular, is that's what sets us apart, is we are communicators. It's amazing to me how often things occur when no one gets any communication whatsoever. And I think of certainly right now as a challenging time, but even at the best of times, for example, hospitals, when your loved one goes into a hospital, treatments, decisions are all being made all the time without anybody's consent, without anybody's communication. Now, don't get me wrong, hospitals are doing the best they can. Sometimes those decisions need to be made very quickly, but sometimes as a care manager, we're going to slow that process down a little bit and say, it's not quite as urgent. We don't have to make a decision in 5 seconds. It's not life-threatening. Let's talk through what the doctor's asking you to do and what are the consequences of doing it or not doing it. And really kind of putting that person back in charge of their own health care.
All right. Now, I know we touched a little bit about on what guidance, the association provides its members, but you want to touch on that again or maybe explain a couple others?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And I think one of the things you and I have spoken about is right now with the COVID-19 crisis that's occurring, one of the things that we did immediately was started having these open forums. We have members all over the country as well as Canada. And we just started having open forums to hear what other folks were experiencing prior to it getting to our communities, or many of us. So we had members that live in Seattle that were the first ones to sort of facilitate some conversations for us. Next, it became New York. And so we were able to learn what kinds of things we might do prior to the COVID really becoming an issue here again in Florida or any other communities. One of the things that I learned very quickly was facilities we knew were going to close down. We knew that they were going to limit or refuse any visitors. So we wanted to put things in place within those facilities. I had our folks, my staff, my care managers, make sure that they had a cell number of somebody that they trusted within that facility, an employee. Didn't have to be the administrator, didn't have to be the nurse but whoever was going to be a trusted full-time person that we could reach constantly and that would give us accurate information about our clients. We also, as a result of these forums and talking through, again, the experience of people who had to deal with this before us, I recommended that my families consider do not hospitalize orders. When your loved one is in a facility, oftentimes sort of the first line of defense of any type of a fall or any kind of a medical issue is to send them out, right? Call EMS, send them to the hospital, let the hospital assess them. Well, obviously the hospital was like the last place you wanted your loved one. So talking and again, as a care manager, is facilitating those orders, maybe to say that the person can only be sent to a hospital if it's a life-threatening situation, and any other situation has to be discussed with the doctor as well as the family before that person gets sent. So, again, trying to put things in place that some of those folks learned the hard way because they were the first to have to deal with this.
And their experience is providing everybody else with the intelligence that we need to combat this.
Yes, yes.
Now, speaking about that, though, some of the states are easing their restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hearing from some of the members? I mean, we're in Florida. I know we're not going into facilities, but what about in Montana? And I'm not picking on Montana. I'm just saying, coming up with other states where are they allowed into facilities? Is it still on lockdown? What's your masses? What are your people telling you?
Sure. My masses are still saying that they are locked out of facilities. And quite frankly, I think it will be the last group that will open up again because, they're so vulnerable and at risk of this disease. So they're still, we're all getting very creative with virtual check-ins with our clients. And in fact, I had a window visit with one of my clients this morning where, she's on the other side of the window. In Florida, again, I know that the governor just extended the lockdown for facilities for another 60 days. So now we're looking at the first part of July before we, again, the potential that we get in occurs again. So I'd like to believe in what I hear from administrators, more so than our members, is facility administrators are talking about advocating for some changes, maybe some visits outside again, where if you're standing and doing a safe social distance, you can have a mask on, the resident has a mask on, but at least you can have a private conversation. We're blessed in Florida because we have the weather to do that.
I think one of the challenges that the facilities are having is how are they keeping their residents engaged? The reason people go to these, I've seen some, you've seen some, they're like country clubs, they're amazing resorts, and you go to them because you're looking for that active social life. And now for 2 months, you've been having every meal in your room. Just keeping them engaged has got to be so hard on these executive directors.
Oh, no doubt. It's unbelievable. And the effect, right? The effect of this social isolation that it's having on the residents is unbelievable. I mean, we've had 2 clients that have passed away within the last month. And, you know, yes, they certainly had medical challenges. They were not diagnosed with COVID. Um, but, you know, I am certain that part of the reason that they passed away quickly was the lack of social interaction. I mean, that again, as a care manager, one of the things that we do is provide very present, hyper focused communication and involvement with our clients. You know, they just don't get that one on one anymore. And even if they're in a communal living facility, whether it's assisted living or a nursing home, yes, there's people around, but if people aren't stopping and really having a meaningful conversation with you, you're still isolated in even those buildings.
And, you know, we were talking about this before on another topic, but I mean, it's the same. That hug, right, that you get
Yes,
from a
yes,
care manager, from your loved one, it transfers so much amazing energy.
yes,
Everybody's missing that, not just
yeah,
everybody. It's crazy.
yep, yep, it sure is.
Yeah. Well, see, our audience is extremely diverse. We've got care managers, we've got other types of healthcare professionals, we've got regular consumers. What do you want them to know about the Aging Life Care Association that they may not know today?
Sure. I'd like you to know that we've been around for 35 years. This is our 35th anniversary in 2020. That we are pros at assessing and assisting older adults and disabled folks and their families. And again, what that means is that we can, because of our vast experience, our members, most of which have bachelor's degrees, if not most have advanced degrees as well. We have to have a certain amount of experience. Many of us are certified. I'm certified, which means I've met a certain criteria regarding my experience, but also passed a national exam. We are, you know, experts in aging. So we assess the needs of our clients. We find out and determine what their preferences are, what their wants and desires are for the end of their life. We try to help facilitate either services or goods like yours to keep our clients as independent as possible and keep the decision making in their own lives. I would like to say to families that we give peace of mind to families. Most of us, myself included, we're available 24/7 to our clients. I have an online medical records program. I have all the most recent lab results for my clients in medical testing, as well as their advanced directive documents, their preferences, their medical histories, medications, etc., so that if there is an emergency, I can get that information very quickly to the hospital and make sure that they know who that person is coming in. So we're available at a moment's notice for our clients. Again, what we want to do is help manage the subtleties of aging. And I think that's one of the things we do very, very well, is we may pick up on things that a layperson would not, or certainly a family member would not. And we're going to make some recommendations on interventions for that particular thing to try to avoid a crisis, to avoid the need to go to a hospital.
Yeah, I would have no idea what to look for when I'm talking to my in-laws or with my folks.
Right.
We're both 80, all of them 80 and over, so I would have no idea to look at.
Right.
I do appreciate being, what I kind of call it is an arrow in your quiver, you know, just being somebody like that who you guys have and you give out your people to the ones that you trust. And I always appreciate doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And our members are social workers, nurses, physical therapists, you know, anybody that's focused on aging.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So before we go, when do you think you're going to go back out and enjoy a glass of wine over a nice dinner and things like that?
I don't know. I don't know, David. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I might do that sitting outside, but I'm not one going in a building just yet. I think we're seeing that I think we have to play this safe. And because, just as you were just saying, my mother is going to be 90 next month and she lives alone and is independent. And I'm here, supporting her. So I want to, I've grounded her and won't let her go to the store. Um, and, um, and I'll do the shopping and things for her. I think that our older adults are vulnerable, and I take that responsibility, and I think most of us members do,
Yeah.
very seriously. So I never want to be in a position where I'm taking something that I might have gotten out, into a place. So I think it'll be a while before, um, we're doing business as normal. But what I would like to make sure people understand is, the beauty, I think for me, and why I think I've done this, stayed in care management for 20 years and plan to retire in it, is a couple of things. One is that our caseloads are very small. So I typically have a full-time care manager will have like 10 clients. So we know these people very intimately. We know their preferences, their wishes. We know their positives, their negatives. We know where they're vulnerable. Um, and we know their families very, very well. And so we're blessed to be able to get to build a relationship like that with our clients. And secondly, it's this community that we have built with this membership of 35 years. Is they are some of the smartest folks that I know, and certainly most committed and compassionate to what they're doing and to helping older adults.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with the going out thing. I mean, Fabiana and I, we talk about it all the time, and we don't know. But we did do something really cool on, I think it was Saturday. We have a balcony. So we have a TV outside. So I turned on, I never take my holiday lights down. So they're up. And we had a bottle of wine and like a cheese plate out there and some popcorn. We kind of made it our own little drive-in movie theater because we sat outside underneath the lights and the stars and watched a movie. It was really, it was nice.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And I think we are going to get back to some of those simple pleasures, right? That got away from us. I mean, again, I talking about my mom, I meet her every night now at a local park, and we have been for the last 2 months, where we walk every night. And I was, no different than everybody else that are very busy with, hey mom, how it's going? Great, gotta go. My work phone is ringing, or I've got to get this email out, or whatever it was. And it's afforded us to really slow down a bit and
Exactly.
enjoy nature and touch base every day, for an hour of just a nice stroll, and it's beautiful.
And it does a world for yourself as a person, for the person you walk with, in this case, your mom. No, everybody's home. There's no smog. There's no pollution. The birds are out. It's beautiful to be outside. It's a
Yeah.
great thing. So Liz, you're an expert. You're a wealth of knowledge. How can people get in touch with you if they had any questions at all, a phone number, whatever? And if they
Sure.
needed somebody from ALCA, how would they get in touch with those guys?
Sure. So for ALCA, the website, on our website, there is Find an Aging Life Care Manager button. So again, basically most any community in the country has members and folks that you can trust to assist you. The website is www.aginglifecare.org. And for myself, I'm Liz Barlowe. My company is Barlowe and Associates, and I am in the St. Pete area of Florida, and our telephone number is 727-392-0825.
Perfect. I truly appreciate you being on, Liz. I mean, I'm a big fan of care managers and the Aging Life Care Association. You did me a huge honor and things like that and coming on today. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you bet, David. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, anytime. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.